Hey everybody, it's the Last Robokai here, and it's time for a climactic moment of Fate Samurai Remnant. A lot is going to happen here, and we're going to be kicking it off immediately with the continuation of the fight against Ushi Gozen, who has subverted the ley lines to empower herself and her massive noble phantasm in an attempt to destroy the entirety of Edo, take over the waxing moon ritual, and then wish for the destruction of the entire planet. And that's only getting started on this episode. So joining me is
mild
Guy.
goals.
Yeah, just mild goals.
Like just really simple and achievable goals.
I
you've got to respect the moderation of Ushi Gozen.
I look back up from my notes. Is this girl bossing?
that feels more like a butterfly meme than a checks notes meme.
True, but I've gotta ask the question: who do you think Saber is?
Okay,
this is the Saber guessing moment.
Yeah, this is when I have to do a checks notes because this one was really rough for me, but I think I've got it about 85% sure. So I started reading from the first Emperor of Japan forward, right? Mm-hmm. And basically when I got to the 12th Emperor, who is Otakari Shiko Oshio Wake no Mikoto. He had a son named Prince Osu no Mikoto, who has a very similar story to what we've been seeing with Saber. Killed his brother early, like legendary fighter who lost his wife at sea. Spent most of his life fighting like the tribes of Kyushu, and also notably had a few interludes where he infiltrated enemy territory disguised as a maidservant, which kind of goes into this like gender-neutral presentation that Saber's been giving us from the beginning.
And we definitely did see a sequence during one of those memories of Saber with their hair down in front of two people holding up a cup, and then shortly afterwards blood explosion. So you might be on the right track.
Right. So now Osu no Mikoto is the one that I kept reading about when I was going through the histories, but that is a Heian sort of naming convention, and the more modern ones apparently is that the emperor is Emperor Keiko Tenno, and Prince Osu is supposed to go by the name Yamato Takeru. And so, like, I'm presuming that Saber will be presented under Yamato Takeru, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I also said Osu no Mikoto in case I happen to be wrong about that one and they go more historical.
Well, we have had 32 episodes to get this down, so you better hope you're correct. So let's get stuck straight in.
Yeah, this one was tough for me. But we'll see. We're now at like 4 minutes on the intro, so we should probably get stuck straight in, as you say. I had forgotten that we had freaking cyberpunk spider.
I did warn you that we had one more. We had one more spider that that we had to deal with.
That is indeed.
Yeah, so the Tsuchigumo is a spider demon that in the legend of Minamoto no Raiko essentially made him very sick and attacked him in his dreams, and wounded and sick Minamoto no Raiko still managed to still managed to overcome. So the spider influences, aside from obviously Gozu Tenno in the background there.
I'm gonna be real. You scared the crap out of me there for a moment when you pulled up your health consumables, and I saw like 1 and 0 up top.
There's so
and then
many
I was just like,
variations.
oh wait, no, like he's got literal dozens of the good stuff.
Yeah, I have to zone in on this a little bit more as I'm playing, because I'm letting myself get hit by hits that are actually later on when I'm just sort of like doing the recollections of this fight. I actually like dodge over really easy, but it's a lot more interesting. Like, all these moves are repostable. Some of them come out pretty quickly, but those jumping ones and the forward stabbing one are all repostable.
It's kind of the curse of having a weird boss like this. It's inherently much more difficult to read their movements.
You're actually like just dodging into them, which is one of those nice things this game does.
Oink. Oink. I do appreciate some of the nonsense that these moves are, though. Just like bouncing up and down like a fucking basketball.
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
It's certainly not what you'd expect from her, considering everything she's been doing and saying previously. But you know, if it works, it works.
All right, okay.
Yeah, lightning is an element also in Fate Grand Order at the very least, typically associated with Minamoto no Raiko as well. She has she has a lot of that energy as well. I think that's pretty much it for moves, though. She doesn't exactly have she has I don't know if she's shown it yet. She has like a forward running stabbing move where she just like slams her front claws into the ground and comes at you very quickly, which is an extremely repostable move. It's difficult being the coolest character in the show, but Yoshinaga keeps escalating. Oh dear.
Even Saber knows it.
So on Rorokia, Sawaka is a interesting noble phantasm, primarily because it's also Tomoe Gozen's noble phantasm, and the Shokunon Bosatsu is the Buddha who's enshrined in the temple where Yoshinaka was entombed, and it's kind of like a profession of her love for him. I assume him doing it as well is him just being like right back at you. So
fantastic.
So it's a very nice touch that he whips that out for that one. such a wonderful wonderful move. I actually also was sort of interested to know what the like the whole entire thing with the Vajra they keep talking about. I think did they say it was like actually no, never mind. I had a thought process but it completely derailed. What were you gonna say?
I mean, so this is something that I tripped across relatively often when I was doing reading on the various Japanese emperors. Basically, like we've talked both in this one and or both in this LP in the past that Shinto and Buddhism are so heavily intertwined that in a lot of cases, the religion of Japan is described as Shinto Buddhism rather than and the punchline is that during the Heian era, there was a lot more Buddhism than the collection of beliefs that we recognize as Shinto in 2000 XX. So like a lot of the even something like holy crap, her name is escaping me right now. I was trying to keep so much in my head for everything else. Iori Musashi's Deva and so forth really are like third generation Buddhism saints rather than something purely derived from Shinto. And so the further back we have people like Rogue Saber, they're invoking things that are more identifiably Buddhist. So like it's just closer to something you'd see in something like Journey with the Beast.
Yeah, I think mostly I was confusing when she was talking about Indra, and for some reason I thought she said Vajra. Way back before. Indra uses a Vajra, which is like what is depicted often with a Vajra, which is the kind of the thing. So that was the kind of thing, like Gozu Tenno is like apparently like an Indra related thing. That was just something I said way back when, and I just wanted to like confirm it. So I was looking that up while you were talking there. And this flamethrower going on back there. I don't think you're cooking her too well. Yeah, and this is kind of after this fight. I'm kind of like, okay, I probably should start like upgrading my gear because we've officially hit the point now where like I'm taking a ridiculous amount of damage.
It's all like this game has always been about to some extent about cutting down a sequoia with a very small hatchet, but your hatchet is looking particularly small against Ushi Gozen.
Yeah, and it's not going to survive against the next boss very well. But we're getting there. She's thrown everything at us. She's escalating extremely large amounts.
Setting everything on fire is definitely that's like a trouble in terrorist town sort of escalation. Ah, there we go.
Yeah, we hoist her. Jeez, that looks good.
Booyaka! Come on, put her down. I'm certain there's got to be at least one more phase after this, but put her down.
Saber! 言われなくとも 我が信念大和武嘆き叫ぶ荒ぶる三日月の化身 一刀にて沈め立てまつる。雨、土、わだつみ、嵐、炎る。天地自然の諸力をここに。会見、雨の村雲の剣。
見事。
マスター。
気に食え。
think GMO was kind of hoping they'd destroy one another. But yes, you were 100% correct. This is Yamato
Oh
Takeru.
man, I'm not even gonna celebrate that one because that was a fucking ordeal for me. If it was anybody but Saber, like the main servant of the game, I would have just said, "Don't know, wasn't able to research." Like I seriously spent probably about over the course of this Let's Play, probably about 10 hours trying to dig it up. Particularly after I went to confirm my my rogue assassin guess and got spoiled, I forbade myself Wikipedia on when I was researching Saber. So had to make use of basically like more direct words hard sources on the internet, and also my local library. Weirdly enough, like my library had a decent enough connection to collection to have exactly 2 books on the Heian period of Japan.
Yeah. So one thing you didn't mention actually as part of the legend, which I thought, I should probably mention since it just came up, is that the blade that the Takeru wields is they invoked the name Ame no Murakumo no Tsurugi. That is the sword that was found inside of the slain corpse of the great serpent Yamato no Orochi. Basically a giant 8-headed serpent thing that was slain by Susanoo, and they found the sword inside of it. And the sword is one of the 3 great treasures of the imperial family.
Okay, so like that did come up during my research that Takeru's father had a piece of imperial regalia that ostensibly survives to this day, but the book I had didn't have a whole lot to say about it, because the annoying thing about a lot of these emperors from this time period is that they're ostensibly legendary. We don't actually have real historical proof of Japan's emperors until something like their 25th or 26th or something like that.
There are some apparently some remnants of information relating to Takeru, but yeah, it's kind of hard to say. So that was basically the last we'll be seeing of Shosetsu for this. She's been to be carried off and possibly kept in isolation and studied, and hopefully not destroyed by the clock tower. But you know, she's stepping off of history now, and we're getting onto some other things now. And I just wanted to add, so there are three treasures that are typically used when they crown a new emperor in Japan. It's the sword, which is what Yamato Takeru's got there. They also have a mirror and a jewel. Generally the idea is that the emperor gets to see these items. Nobody else is allowed to see them, and then they get put away, hermetically sealed, put away. It's entirely possible that they are not the same ones that have survived all of this time, partly because the idea of something surviving that long, even with the best of care, it'd still fall apart. The other reason is that the sword actually may or may not have sunk to the bottom of a lake. I was talking about the Genpei conflict. Well, when Yoshinaka beat the shit out of the Taira forces and they fled the capital, they took some of the Emperor's children and also, I think, 2 of the Imperial regalia with them, the sword included. And they were on one of the vessels that were basically torched and sank during the battle by Minamoto no Yoshitsune. So, very unlikely that the sword is the same one, because they didn't have very good diving back then, I don't think. And, you know, like, I don't think anyone's ever actually found any trace of it at the bottom of it.
I feel like particularly in the modern day, if they had any real hope of finding it, they would have turned that lake figuratively upside down to do it. Because like this is it's surprising exactly how much you can do with ground penetrating radar on a lot of stuff like that. I have a bit of a tangent on this, but I will wait until this scene is over, because Musashi is clearly like future endeavoring all of these dorks and is walking off into the sunset, and I want to give her the respect she deserves.
And yeah, here's the thing. She knows when this is coming because it's happened to her so often, and she, as a servant, she can feel it more readily. She is not in charge of her own course.
今回は英月ときっといろんな縁に引っ張られてきたけれど、いよいよ次の旅ってわけです。
もう旅立たれてしまう。そういうことですか。
うん、そう。いおりくんは本当に飲み込みが早くて助かるわ。ってことで太夫、最後に。
Iori's like, I already lost you once. Like, this is more or less just a second act.
こう見えて、一応はサーバントだもの。マスターの願いのために力を尽くします。私の願いだよ。あんたには好きにしてほしいさ。もちろん二言はないよ。私の願いを叶えておくれ、武蔵ちゃん。大したことはしてあげられないけれど、せめて餞別を受け取って。武蔵ちゃん、これ以上私を気にかけなくていい。他の誰かの願いなんかに振り回されないで、ただ自分のために切るべきものを切って。武蔵ちゃん、あんたはあんたの好きに生きな。とびきりの青空を飛ぶ鳥みたいにさ。
This is like Genie, I wish you were free in Aladdin, only she's using all 3 wishes on it because Dayu's a way better person than Aladdin.
Yeah.
今ので少しは主らしいこと してあげられたかな。少しどころか最高の選別をもらったわ、太夫。吉原でいただいたうどんも格別でした。この江戸も私は大好き。
You really need to stop talking about noodles. I haven't had noodles in like 2 weeks, and I'm weak to it right now.
Musashi just singularly functions to eat udon.
God.
But she's not done quite yet.
何かもう分かってるでしょ。
無論です。むしろ口にすべきは俺の方だ。今は亡き父上、日の本最強にして天下一の大剣豪、江戸にも名高き宮本武蔵。こうして出会えた貴殿はきっと俺の定めだ。故にどうか真剣勝負の試合がしたい。
Oh, this is what you were talking about with the next boss. Right. Okay. So this is gonna be a thing and a half.
This is also in a previous thing. I mentioned the game saying, hey, so you want to do the boss fight now, or do you want to go get ready? And I ran off and hid in my house and carved statues for like half an hour.
Yeah.
武蔵の後始末、女武蔵が受けたまわった。より正気か。死が特別な相手だというのはわかる。二度と会えるであろうこともわかる。
Saber's like, I get it, but also, what the fuck, dude?
もしも君が
勝つ刀の問題ではない。剣士剣客の端くれとして俺は戦わねばならん。手出し無用、ご意見無用。英月も何もかも。
It is important to remember that early on, a monologue from Old Man Musashi himself stated that he really developed Iori in the hope that they would fight each other one day, and that Musashi would inevitably cut him down to continue his path as on the sword. And unfortunately, age and sickness got in the way before that could happen.
Before Iori was really ready.
仲良しのお話は済んだかしら?
Yeah, because like it's one of the beautiful things about Musashi is that he and Li Shu-wen had a lot in common in terms of height of strength versus height of skill. Like Musashi was notoriously the sort of person who just never stopped pushing. And if there was any physical way to keep going just out of pure stubbornness and curiosity for how far someone could go, the IRL Miyamoto Musashi would definitely still be around today.
Yeah, like that's
he would have
the
found
Makai
a
Tensho.
way.
The Makai Tensho sums up that perfectly. He barely even flinches at the idea of continuing his life as a demon, because it would mean he would get to continue his life to continue the path of the sword.
Yeah. Like he would have found a way if there was a way.
Mm-hmm. And then of course there's, people will obviously mention Baki. Wherein the fucking idiot Tokugawa that runs the underground fighting things resurrects him in a clone body, and it goes about as well as you can imagine for literally everybody, including killing one of the most popular characters in the entirety of the manga, and then he has his own isekai now, which is nice. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Although that isekai is fucking hilarious. The other thing that's important to note about the sword that Takeru wields is that it's also got the name Kusanagi no Tsurugi, which I believe is just grass cutter. And the reason why that sword has that name is because of Takeru themselves. They were in a large field. The story of why they were there changes, and of who started the fire. Some say it was corrupt nobles who were working against him when he had been sent to the area to to take control, to like purge the enemies of the Emperor. Some had said that it was the enemy who did it, but essentially he was out in a large grass field and a fire was started, and he was going to, unsurprisingly, get roasted. And so what he did was essentially he started to swing his sword to cut the grass, to try and at least make himself a little bit of a clearing. And that was when, in slicing the grass, cutting with the sword, a gust of wind blew out. And realizing the actual power of this sword, because in the story, he basically killed his brother and was like, I done it, I've killed my brother, and his father became quite afraid of the young man. And so started just sending him out to crush his enemies. Like, go out, kill this enemy for us, go out, kill this enemy for us. Every time he would succeed, he would come back, and his father would send him out again. And naturally, Takeru was like, he's just trying to get rid of me. And he spoke to his aunt, who was a shrine maiden, and she gave him the sword. And so when he finally sort of realized what he had in his hand, he used the power of the sword to change the direction of the wind and blow it back onto the people who had, like, tried to kill him. And so when he invoked his name like that to use that sword, and then, like, named the sword, that was him invoking it as a sort of the game sort of states it in one of the loading screens about his about Takeru's noble phantasms, that this is something he can do when he reveals his true name. And he can basically invoke the power of the sword. That wasn't like the super fuck off mega noble phantasm that we've been told not to use all this time. This is still, again, another instance of just another reason why this sword is horribly broken.
It's cracked, yeah.
And it basically allows him to just invoke the power and be used in any which way that Takeru wishes. It could just be to give a gentle breeze if they wanted to, which in this particular case they just full blasted Ushi Gozen in the face.
Just fuck you, and the horse you rode in on, which, you know, we also, well, we didn't really destroy. It's still standing over us, but, you know, whatever. Like, when we fuck you, we fuck the horse you rode in on.
Yeah. So as you can see, you can I'm sort of buggering around with this at the moment, but you can upgrade the attack and use the stats or reroll the stats.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, and obviously there's only a limited number of times you can do that. So we'll get better weapons down the line, and there is an upper limit you can boost all of these stats to. But
right now you're just basically damaging up versus servants, because that's what you're actually concerned about, is the incredibly badass servant in front of you. So to return to what I was saying real quick, because clearly we've got a second with regard to ground penetrating radar and uncovering a lot of the secrets of the past. On the other hemisphere of the world, there is what's known as the Lost City of Z, which was supposed to be a ancient Amazon civilization that's buried deep in the Amazon forest, and they it particularly captured the imagination and fascination of one Colonel Percy Fawcett. And he was one of the most badass Amazon explorers of his time, which was basically the early 20th century. So we're talking roughly 1910 or so, when Major / Lieutenant Colonel / Colonel Fawcett was active. I won't get into why I'm being so ambiguous about his military rank. To put it shortly, it's an entire thing with Colonel Fawcett. I'm used to calling him Colonel Fawcett, so I'm going to call him Colonel Fawcett. But anyway, he was one of the most famed explorers, and was notable for going in and exploring the Amazon with only a very small team. Talking like five people, and the only auxiliaries he ever permitted were dogs, because dogs didn't ask for much, and in his words, were loyal to the very bitter end. And basically, on his last expedition, he was going to find the fabled lost civilization, the city that was buried deep in the Amazon, and no white man had ever found, and he disappeared. And it's captured imagination for other people for 100 years now, because he disappeared and nobody really knows what happened. All of the indigenous tribes might know a scrap, but they're not talking. And then finally they used ground penetrating radar, and they did in fact find what looked like the lost city of Z, and something that Colonel Fawcett would have been looking for. The problem being, because it's the middle of the fucking Amazon, and there's basically no way to quarry stone or do anything like that, what they found were incredible ruins, like amazing earthworks and woodworks and breastworks that were all totally consumed by the Amazon jungle, because it was wood and dirt, and it renews itself every year. So, it's hauntingly similar to this Imperial regalia insofar as there was something to find, but Colonel Fawcett would not have been looking for that. He would have been looking for a stone ruin, a stone city of incredible magnificence. So similarly, when you go churning up that lake, you're looking for this incredible sword of outstanding significance. And after all this time, it's probably just a rusted hull. So even if you could find it, maybe it's better that sort of thing stay buried. The story is better if you say, no, this one's totally the one that we've been crowning the emperor with for the last 500, 600, 800 years.
Sorry, I'm just... let me call you by your real name once, if I win. No.
たった一度だけなら呼ばせてやらんこともない。特別も特別だ。
Only once.
Very shy about it.
Like, the last time that this happened, she was mind controlled, so I understand the hesitation.
It might also just be a case of being a little worried that it, puts a wedge between them, more pronounced between, servant and master, more pronounced.
They do have a good thing going, and I could completely understand. Let's not mess with that.
いいですね。いささか時代遅れやもしれませんが。では。宮本武蔵が養子にして一番弟子。二天一流。宮本伊織貞次。ここに我が使徒の果たし合いを所望す。
よろしい。二天一流階層新面武蔵守藤原の晴信。その挑戦受けて立ちましょう。いざ尋常に
勝負。
And away we go.
God, she loves this. Yes, Dayu, it was the gotcha got waited for you there, homegirl. Whoa, okay, that came out really quick.
剣士で相手を認めるがゆえに勝負につけることが酒への定めか。真っ向勝負。
I do like one of the so one of the thought exercises that I end up performing a lot as I read various books and so forth, right? One of the part of the way I like to consume history is in biographies, and we kind of touched on this earlier, but one of the thought exercises that I like to run is how well would this person I am reading about adapt to it if some sort of new amazing technology made it possible to revive them, like the moment before they died. They had continuity or whatever, but it's just like, hello, sir or madam, it's however many years later. Would they be able to handle that? Would what would be the result? And it's really rare when you read about somebody for 40 hours, 50 hours, which is what a lot of these sorts of biographies will take you to really consume. That you end up thinking, no, they'd be just fine. It's really a rare person that you end up thinking that. And Miyamoto Musashi is absolutely one of the people that I've always been able to say, no question whatsoever. If you brought Miyamoto Musashi back, he or she, you revived her in a female body, would just be like, fuck yeah, back to perfecting the sword. He wouldn't miss a fucking beat. He wouldn't care how out of date or whatever it was. It was about the art. It was about the expression. It was about the mastery, and he wouldn't miss a beat.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful to be able to think that, because it's. I'll put it to you this way: the only other person I've ever read about, I've read a good 40 or 50 different biographies, mostly from the Enlightenment era. The only person I've ever been able to say that confidently about is Benjamin Franklin. He's the only other guy that I'm just like, yeah, he would absolutely.
He would love dating apps.
He would love dating apps.
Sorry.
He would think that is the coolest fucking thing on the planet. He would be so fucking happy to be alive again. He'd just be like, let's fucking do this. But just some of his contemporaries, George Washington, Benjamin.
You might want to hold that thought.
これは負けかしら。
I thought for certain there was going to be a phase 2.
Well, it certainly helped that Iori cracked out a two-sword version of her chief rival's ultimate maneuver.
そんな二刀流とは恐れ入った。私でさえそんな手は考えない。まさに絶好絶技、あっぱれな天衣無縫。見事なり
宮本伊織。でも宿敵の秘剣を使うとかひどすぎない？それって師匠の二股じゃん。男武蔵にちょっと同情しちゃうな。
師匠。
さーて、そろそろ行くとしますか。ありがと
Voice actress is earning her money.
う。良き戦いでした。いおり。
セイバ
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
眠るにはまだ早い。後始末が残っている。いおり。
ああ。
We'll have to spend a little bit of time decompressing that, but yes, we have unlocked the Void Stance's actual Valor Strike, the Hidden Sword Soaring Swallow reversal. That's a lot of explanation that's going to go into it, and it ties obviously into Fate Stay Night's Kojiro.
I appreciate that Iori was still limping as he left.
It was the first time he'd ever done it. That ugly ass hand cup.
God damn, though.
さて、英月の器、これはいかにして壊したものか。
Yeah, the sort of plus side to all of this is we don't actually need to, like, you know, defeat everybody, as long as we can just, like, blow the vessel up.
いや、待て待て待て。
Oh, with the sword. Okay.
Yeah, don't just do that. Don't just attack it.
我が工具であれば一戦で両断できようが。
There's a lot of magical energy in that. What do you think
Right.
is gonna happen?
Feel like that's not really the best idea.
立つのみで良いものか。
なんだ珍しく弱気か
Oh yeah, there's a great time for that taunt.
つまりわしの出番というわけじゃな。
じいさん心当たりでも
無粋なことを聞くでない。
Better.
心当たりがなければわざわざ出てこんわ。
では何ができる？
円月の器我が身に取り込む。
何
セイバーの弱気はむしろ正国よ。まさに正解。英霊の魂などという魔力の塊を収めるにしてはこの器あまりに不完全にすぎる。下手につつけば魔力がはじけ辺り一帯吹き飛ぶのみよ。
そこまでのものか
Hit it anyway. I dare you. I'll give you $10. Punch it.
器からして
Yeah, just that could happen. No shit, Sherlock. I guess this is before Sherlock. But whatever.
ただの魔術書。ゆえにすぐに同化しよう。しかるのち、わしごと器を切れ、セイバー。
それは
自害を選ぶかじいさん
青にさんが生意気に老骨の決断に口を挟むでない。そもそもわしは長くありすぎたわ。 多くの人の手を経て多くの国の攻防を目にし多くの戦い
Yeah, honestly, hanging around with a samurai, samurai hobo and his bottomless bottomless pit for food. It's like that's probably the best easiest life I've ever had.
なかなか退屈しなかったからな。
Never a dull moment. There's the understatement of the goddamn millennium.
立ちあるものはいつか壊れる。ならばそのいつかはわしが選ぶとも。より
紅玉の牢屋、優しい牢屋だな君は。ならばせめて苦しまぬよう旅立たせるまで。
頼むぞセイバー。
ではイオリ、英月の器を取ってくれ。
ああ。
なぜ殺すのか。すがることさえ許されぬ。ならば復讐するは我にあり。
Figured he was gonna need to make his move here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. And so we enter the end game.
かの夜、青年の平穏は終わりを迎えた。月に誘われ集った者らと刃を、声を、心を交わし、散りざまを見届け、夜道を見送り、そして今、月満ちし時、彼は願いを叶えんとする。
無様だな。
貴様。
いいのか。
カヤ。
動きたければ動き。
また私は
これが地獄の門を開くか。
I feel like maybe he could have jumped to his feet if he hadn't just finished beating down the best swordsman of the age.
Mm-hmm. He picks his moment, that Shimon. Normally I would start a new chapter with the new chapter, but honestly I kind of felt like that was a better way to end it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Good lord.
That was, Chiamon's about to... Chiamon's been stealing a lot of scenes already, so now he's also stolen the waxing moon vessel. And Kaya as well. And yeah, that sets the stage for the final chapter, the Flames of Resentment. Now, we have been, as a result of our decisions, on the rat path. And in Japanese mythology, the rat is typically seen as the underminer of religion and authority, because back in those days, they kept everything on parchments, on documents. And you know what rats like eating? Paper.
Paper.
They like eating your paper and then pooping on the rest of it. And so as a result, they were branded as the enemy of religion, particularly Buddhism. It's kind of funny like that. And yeah, so we've had a hell of a lot of things happen in this particular episode. We've said goodbye to Ryder. We've said goodbye to Berserker. Pretty much the only ones left now is Lancer and Saber. And that's what we're going to be kicking off next time in Fate Samurai Remnant. We begin our assault on the new stronghold for Chiamon, and he has picked a hell of a place for a showdown. I've been the Last Robo-Kai.
And I have been Cool Guy.
And don't worry, everyone, we will have plenty of time in the next episode to talk about what the fuck just happened with a lot of that stuff. Because a lot of things happened, so we'll see y'all next time.